Hello and welcome to the second CSD head-to-head of the season. Today's players are Lamar Miller versus Todd Gurley. The players have their same status in their respective teams. They are both the #1 running back in Houston and Los Angeles. The reason they are pinned against each other is their similar ADP of running back 12 versus 11. Leave a comment below with your favorite one of the two. First, let's take a look at Lamar Miller. From the Texas opportunity pool and market share, Miller gets 240 projected carries and 41 projected targets. That is a lot lower than his 268 carries from last year, but still a significant amount. His target moves in the opposite direction, but only with 2 more. His most productive running lane is between the right guard and the right tackle with 5.7 yards per carry, compared to his worst running lane on either side of the center with only 3.7 yards per carry. These running lanes are important to keep in mind during the season against teams with weaknesses in those areas. Looking at his game scenario production, he performs best in the second quarter while dropping off later in the games. He is very consistent with his yards per carry and does not change depending on what down he plays. Lamar Miller is projected to score 7.4 touchdowns next year. Now let's look at Todd Gurley, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. From the Rams opportunity pool and market share, Gurley gets 257 projected carries and 43 projected targets. Same as with Miller, less carries but more targets, and in this case, a lot more targets. His most productive running lane is outside the left tackle with 5.1 yards per carry, compared to his worst running lane between the right guard and the right tackle with only 3.2 yards per carry. And again, these running lanes are important to keep in mind during the season against teams with weaknesses in those areas. Looking at his game scenario production, he performs his worst early on in the games, while keeping it steady after the first quarter. He gets the majority of his yards from carries on the first time, while really being terrible on anything after the second one. Gurley is projected to score 8.1 touchdowns next year. Let's have a look at how they perform in different situations. Miller is the better player when playing at home with quite a bit. He's also the better player in away games. Gurley is far behind Miller's average when the teams are winning. But when their teams are losing, Gurley is the better option. Miller is a beast when playing within the AFC South, while Gurley performs better when he plays outside the NFC West. The best play for each player: Miller at home versus a team from the AFC South that you think the Texans will beat, and Gurley at home versus a team from outside the NFC West that you think the Rams will beat. Gurley has the workload advantage, while Miller has that advantage in yards per carry. Looking at their one game ceiling, the advantage again goes to Miller with 0.3 points. When we look at the one game floor, Gurley wins heavily. He wins it with 0.7 points, which is the same amount that Thomas won against Green last week. In conclusion, Todd Gurley's projected workload is bigger than Lamar Miller's. Lamar Miller's yards per carry is much higher than Todd Gurley's. However, Todd Gurley's floor is almost 1 point higher than Miller's. Both have ups and downs, but if I got the choice, my pick is Todd Gurley. Thank you very much for watching CSD Head-to-Head. Hit that subscribe button for more weekly content, and as always, the spreadsheets are dark and full of terror.